Hello Scorpios, hope you are all doing well. In this video I will summarize two important astrological events that happened earlier this year in March and are ongoing, then I will summarize your August 2023 horoscope. Back in March 2023 Saturn changed signs from Aquarius, where it was for the last 2.5 years, and it went into Pisces. It will be in Pisces for the next 2.5 years. The second aspect was Pluto changing signs from Capricorn, where it was for the last 14 years, and moved to Aquarius, but it will stay in Aquarius for 20 years instead of the usual 14 years. Pluto's longer transit in Aquarius is due to Pluto's retrograde back and forth into Capricorn for some unfinished business. Let me quickly outline Saturn and Pluto's roles. Both planets are associated with some type of restriction, learning, building confidence, and ultimately to make you some kind of master in an area of your life they are transiting. But they do operate differently, and that will be clear when I explain the transits you went through with both and their upcoming transits and the effect they will have on you. Let us start with Saturn's transit of Aquarius. Aquarius is your fourth house of family, parents, home, hometown, patriotism, and your tribe. So, in the last 2.5 years you may have felt restricted, conflicted, or frustrated with an issue or issues regarding your fourth house. And because of those issues you learned how to either change the situation, come to terms with it, or some type of release was necessary to resolve it. And if you look back, you will see that it was either a blessing in disguise or you feel content with the restructuring that occurred. Hold that thought because we'll discuss this and correlate it to Pluto taking over from Saturn as it entered Aquarius, your fourth house, and will stay there for 20 years. But a little later on that. So, when Saturn left Aquarius, in March, it then entered Pisces and will stay there for the next 2.5 years, restructuring your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets and gambling. You will feel some heavy responsibilities and obstacles in these areas. It may look like single Scorpios are not finding the right partner or are lonelier than usual, or you may meet partners that don't care for children or pets, or they want children, and you don't, or it could be they or you are having some type of gambling problem. Whatever the obstacle, Saturn is asking you what it is that you really want your romance, children, or gambling choice to be. It is asking, are you happy with the current situation or can you handle the worst part of these responsibilities? Basically, the fifth house is supposed to be a fun and light house, and, in your case, dreamy and elusive Pisces controls this house for you. So, Saturn coming in here will clear away the fog of Pisces covering up problems or pull you back to reality and point out the consequences of escaping to this elusive fifth house that Pisces occupies. But Saturn will also help you structure a more manageable approach to it. It will help you place boundaries and set an alarm to wake you up from being in a dream-like world too long. In any case, whatever restriction and learning opportunity comes up at the end of the next 2.5 years, and if you rise to the challenge, Saturn will gift you something in this area of romance and children, etc. Let us explore Take No Prisoners Pluto and its tour in Sirius and methodical Capricorn, and what to expect with its new transit in the genius of the zodiac, Aquarius, for you. If you think back to 2009, 2010, and 2011 when Pluto first entered Capricorn and made its presence felt, you will have known that things you took for granted regarding your third house of communication, commuting, neighborhood, being heard, speaking, learning, translating and vision, somehow turned upside down for you. You may have emigrated to a foreign country or gotten involved with immigrants in your own hometown where communication depended on translation. You may have had car or phone problems, you may have taken your first speech class or been thrown in a position of public speaking, or you could have encountered neighborhood or neighbor problems. And all these things had a heavy, government, and law and order theme to them, because Capricorn rules such things and is associated with tradition and older or seemingly old souls. Now, with that in mind, think about the fear, control, power plays, or powerful people that you either came up against or helped you in the area of the third house of communication and commuting. In either case, some type of power was on display to be either feared or power was given to you to wield. And the scenario continued, showing you the consequences of that power. In the end, and looking back over the past 14 years, you now are the student who learned and surpassed the professor, no? Now, look back over the past 2.5 years that Saturn was in Aquarius and your fourth house of home and family, and what obstacles you encountered and overcame, and liken these 2.5 years to a movie trailer of a 20-year full movie, with you in the lead role, of Pluto taking over from Saturn and going in Aquarius. It will be a 20-year journey of achieving small success in your fourth house. You just need to not let fear stifle you. Control, or you should not try to control things for these 20 years to go by smoothly with your home and family. Many of you are probably rolling your eyes and thinking it was the worst 2 years of your life dealing with home and family, and I'm making sound like the next 20 will be easy. I understand, but what I am trying to convey is that this will be your Pluto transit, and Pluto demands change, otherwise Pluto will come in like a wrecking ball if you don't step up and have a willingness to change. And the only way to convince some people it's better off to embrace learning how to change instead of hiding from it, is to look at it as a rewarding challenge. I think the perfect and less fearful example would be to think of it like a school process. Like Saturn in Aquarius was learning and graduating with an undergraduate degree or bachelor's degree, and now you're continuing to higher education of Pluto in Aquarius and getting a master's degree or doctorate. Just like you were rewarded in your last 14 years journey of Pluto in Capricorn in your third house of communication and commuting, it will be another journey of learning to be rewarded in your fourth house of home and family. Alright, enough of the pep talk about Pluto, lol. I will have a dedicated Pluto video coming soon, but now let's finally move on to summarize your August 2023 horoscope. In the very beginning of the month there was a full moon in Aquarius and your fourth house of home and family. Some things ended here or came to fruition, but it was a solid full stop. Continuing to the Sun and Venus in Leo, Leo is your 10th house of career, reputation, status, charity work and power brokers. There are talks and questions regarding your career or status, and it involves people with authority and/or money. Venus brings luck and money, she rules beauty, the feminine, and agreements, she also rules mother-son relationships and affairs. If you are having difficulties with your career or with people in authority, that is due to Venus being retrograde in Leo. When Venus goes retrograde, her jealous, finicky and spiteful side turns up. Don't stress, whatever the problem is in your 10th house, it will all be reversed or corrected once Venus resumes forward motion in early October. Mars and Mercury are in Virgo and your 11th house of friends, groups, social media, and your future outlook. You and others are meeting and making plans, but Mercury is retrograde until the end of September, so have plan B and C, as friends will change their mind or your social media will be confused until the end of the month. There is another full moon at the end of the month in Pisces and your 5th house of romance and children, and it is a super blue moon sitting opposite Virgo, your 11th house of friends and your future. An ending, disengagement, conflict or fruition with romance and children for you, and it could be because it is conflicting or opposing your 11th house. I would skip decisions then because we have the planet of communication, Mercury, and the planet of love, Venus, both retrograde. You don't need emotional decisions where you don't have the full info on a full moon. Finally, at the end of July 2023, Aries and Libra started their business when they entered the North and South nodes respectively. Aries is your 6th house of health and service to others, Libra is your 12th house of secrets, confining institutions, solitude, spirituality, and dreams. If one of these houses are out of sync, the other becomes a mess too. Mars will leave Virgo and come hot in Libra, turning up the heat. Maybe you'll start earnestly working on something behind the scenes and preparing for some kind of launch, but it is conflicting with your health, schedule, or service. If a compromise is to be made, Ceres is in Libra too and will help you with that by mid-September. Thank you for your attention, Scorpio. I hope you enjoyed and/or were informed with this video. If you were, please give it a like, it'll help my channel. You are famous for being the most loyal and best friend of all the zodiac signs, and I would love to have your trust and friendship as a subscriber too. I welcome your comments and suggestions as I will be uploading more content, podcasts, live shows and merch to offer. Be well, Scorpios, till next time.